question number 7 from the 4.3 homework. We are asked to solve this system using the method of elimination. This is an ugly problem. You're going to get some ugly answers. The first time I brought it up on the homework, the numbers were incredibly ugly. So I used the trick of getting it wrong 3 times so that I could ask for a similar question and get better numbers. And believe it or not, these are better numbers. The first thing we need is our x and our y on the same side. So I need to work on rearranging this particular equation. So what I have is 81x minus 17 is equal to 12y. I want my x and y on the same side, so I'm going to work on moving the 12y over here by subtracting 12y from both sides. This gives me 81x minus 12y minus 17 is equal to 0. Now I want the 17 on the other side, so I'm going to add 17 to both sides. And that gives me 81x minus 12y is equal to 17. So the system I want to solve is 54x plus 18y is equal to negative 11, and 81x minus 12y is equal to 17. Okay, so what we want to have happen is we want to be able to add these two equations together and have a variable cancel out. This is not set up to do that automatically. If I add these together, I don't get 0. I don't get 0 here either. You need to decide which of the two variables you want to get rid of. You do have a choice. In this case, these are smaller numbers, which is nice. And I have a positive and a negative already, which is also nice. Now you could do two positives. You just have to multiply one of the two equations by a negative number to create the negative. But we need a positive and a negative. Okay, so let's try to figure out what numbers we need. If I look at 18 and 12, I'm not worried about the negative. That'll get taken care of. All right, so I want to find a number that I can multiply these two numbers by something and get that other particular number. It's like finding the least common denominator. What you want to do is you want to start with your larger number and ask yourself if your smaller number divides evenly into it. Does 12 divide evenly into 18? No. So multiply 18 by 2 and you get 36. Then ask yourself, does 2 divide evenly into 36? And the answer is yes. If I do 12 times 3, I also get 36. So I'm going to try to turn these into 36s. Okay? If this had not worked, I would try multiplying 18 by 3 and then 18 by 4. And I would keep going until I finally found the number that would work. There's always a number that will work. Okay, so if I want to turn this into a 36, I need to multiply this entire equation by 2. And if I want to create a 36 here, I need to multiply this entire equation by 3. That's going to give me a positive 36 here and a negative 36 here. So let's do that. 2 times 54 is 108. So I have 108x plus 36y is equal to negative 22. Now all I've done is I've multiplied each of these three things by a 2. Now I'm going to multiply each of these by a 3. 81 times 3 is 243. X minus 36y is equal to 17 times 3 is 51. Now let's add these together. The y's cancel out. 243 plus 108 is 351. X is equal to negative 22 divided by 51, not divided by negative 22 plus 51 is 29. Okay. Now to find our x, I need to divide both sides by 351. And we find that our x value is this fraction. It does not simplify. Okay, so what I want to do now is I have my x value. I want to find my y value. I need to take this and plug it into one of these two. I just try to glance and see which one might be easier to get y. This one already has y on a side by itself, so I'm thinking this one might be easier, but it's not much easier, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this value and I'm going to plug it in for x here. So I have 81 times x, which is 29 over 351, minus 17 is equal to 12y. Now I'm going to use my calculator here. We have calculators that do fractions, so I'm going to do 81 times 29 over 351. Okay? And that gives me 87 over 13. 87 over 13 minus 17 is equal to 12y. All right, I have 87 minus 13. Let's subtract 17 from it and see what we get. I get negative 134 over 13 is equal to 12y. Now, what do I need to do here? I really need to divide both sides by 12, right? So what I need to do is this, negative 134 over 13 divided by 12 is equal to 12y over 12. See, I'm dividing both sides by 12 here, but since this is a fraction, I've just written it the opposite direction. We're doing the same thing. If I divide this by a 12 on my calculator, it tells me that I get negative 67 over 78, and that is my y value. So, what is my answer to this system right here? It is the point 29 over 351, comma, negative 67 over 78. It's ugly, but that is our answer.